Hello, hello.
Hello.
Oh, I forgot I was even in this channel.
Me too.
I am going to move to another channel because I don't want to
It's
bug you guys with being
oh,
live.
you're fine. I'm probably gonna get off in a second anyway. So
Yeah, it's gonna
you have a
call in a night soon too.
Yeah,
you,
but
you guys have
still.
a
Have
yeah.
a good night, both of you.
You
Good
too.
night.
Sorry about that. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Illusion Fox Gaming. We're going to be playing the new patch of Final Fantasy XIV. Or at least that's the plan, more or less. If I stop running around in circles and actually go to the thing. Um, In a moment, Geode wants to take a stock of the current crisis. Oblivion may be lacking the finer details in certain areas, so we'd like you to lend your perspective to the conversation. Sorry to drag you into our meeting, but we need to get better handle on the threats Alexandria is facing right now. No, much has happened since the state funeral, and a clearer idea of where things stand would be beneficial for us all. First things first then, let's discuss the state of the machine malfunctions. Every single sector reported instances of sentries attacking citizens without provocation, and vehicles suddenly becoming unresponsive to controls. And while these malfunctions were resolved fairly quickly, they nevertheless resulted in a considerable number of injuries and deaths. But you haven't heard anything about new incidents since then, right? Right, no additional reports have been logged. As far as I know, that's the good news. The bad news is, I tried to take control of the soldiers when they started hurting people, but they wouldn't listen to me. Even though I have the king's authority. Once things calmed down, I was finally able to make them give up their armed weapons, but if it happens again, I don't know if they'll ignore me like before. King of Resolve authority is about the highest there is. Who this man that can override it with such impunity? Calyx, he lived in the age of the storm surge as I did. Lest you forget, he was known for his advancements in electrope technology. It was he who established preservation for the purpose of furthering his research. The wasting disease which afflicted him, however, was said to leave him scant years left to live. He was chosen to undergo conversion into an endless so that he might continue his efforts into the present day. Preservation's early goals seem noble enough, exploring treatments for Levin sickness, designing Everkeep's core system, that sort of thing. One of the people was ostensibly trying to help. I do not understand to fully understand Calyx's motivations, only that he appeared incensed by what he saw as mankind's failings. asserted that the strategy of adapting our species through generational succession was outdated, that evolution now requires us to forsake bodies of flesh in favor of eternal preservation. I've already seen how he's employed the stimulant to convince Alexandrians that endless conversion is their only hope for survival. Eternal life is assured for the 5,000 who register their neo-regulators. This is merely one part of Calyx's greater plan. He wants the key to the interdimensional fusion. With that relic in his possession, he will draw ether from the reflections to expand his efforts to create a great endless 1,000-fold. If we mean to foil Calyx's schemes, then our only option is to determine where he's hiding and put him down. Which, unfortunately, is easier said than done. I've been scouring the terminal we found in the depths of Everkeep. I failed to uncover even the slightest trace of his activities. Give me a little more time, though, and I'm sure I can sniff him out. I'll help you. While Guluja and Shale are working on that, I think I'm going to take a look around town. I'll make sure no new problems have cropped up, as well as search for any information that might lead us to Calyx. You're welcome to come along. Another malfunction could happen at any time, and I'd be glad to have my sombrellers at my back. Count me in. Rob and the others are asleep, helping Oblivion patrol the other levels of the keep, so shall we stick to the streets of Solution 9? This is a plan, thank you two. I appreciate the company. Just speak with the city's administrators about bringing in the Landsguard. I want our soldiers around to protect those who are moving to Tulialo. Alvno and Alice will be joining for me for the meeting, so the three of us can cover the sector as soon as we're done. If I may, I'd like to join their group if you'll have me. The more mouths to ask questions, the merrier, as long as you're aware of the dangers. Thank you. I'll do my best not to be a burden. I'm not worried about you, Geode. Don't do anything stupid. You'll change your tune once you get back with the goods on Calyx. Then the drinks are on you. Come on, let's continue this outside. Such depressing music out there. Or in that room, I mean. Sorry, I was off in my own little world. Shall we get started? Me, I'm well enough given the circumstances. It was the Queen's fondest wish that her subjects remain shielded from the horrors of death, and so they were for the longest time. Then the moment mortality once again becomes an unavoidable fact of life, they're greeted with the outbreak of bloody violence. Many are bound to give the endless alternative serious consideration. Indeed, and I do not blame them for that. It is only natural that such thoughts should come to mind. What I cannot forgive is the way Calyx yields fear and misery to manipulate people into making that choice. No one, not Calyx nor anyone else, should dictate how we cope with the specter of death. As one who lived as an Alexandrian, I wish to put the choices for this country's future back in the hands of its citizens. And you think we can handle that responsibility after everything you've seen of us? It is what I've seen that has convinced me you can. I woke 4 centuries later to find our people living and laughing beneath Alexandria's banner. Though surprised and bewildered, I was overjoyed to see it so. You all deserve to be happy. Well then. We best not let you down. Now, it's just we move as a group. We don't know if or when battle might find us. I believe someone came prepared for just such an eventuality. Is that the grimoire you retrieved from the old castle? Yes, my parents gave it to me when I was a child. They were adamant that I should learn to protect the things important to me. I was fortunate enough to have a tutor in the arcane arts, so I laid claim to some small measure of skill. If that's the case, it might be better if we split into 2 groups after all. It would certainly be more efficient for information gathering. I guess that makes sense. The 2 of you can take the west side of the recreation zone then. And we'll take the east. Very well, we shall end our patrol in the plaza just past True View and wait you there. Let's do the rounds then. We'll see what's what and chat to the people we meet along the way. Pay special attention to anyone who looks overwhelmed or overly excited. Hopefully that will earn us a tidbit or 2 we didn't know before. Are the sentries in the air wheelers safe to be around now? I just know it's going to happen again. Maybe next time I'll be the one who dies in a horrible accident. I need a neo-regular. Becoming endless is the only way. Even Queen Speen said so. Ah, the memories. I used to drink around here all the time. Make sure not to overdo it. When I had work the next day, but once we were past the busy season, or when the ladies were amenable to my company, well, you'd have to scrape me off the street outside in the morning or afternoon. The rest I ever got was on what should have been the worst day of my life. If only I could remember it. I was still wearing a regular back then. It's also the day I first met Shale, though I guarantee she's forgotten it completely. You want to hear my story? Well, I appreciate you offering a sympathetic ear. There's not much to tell. You must know, a good friend of mine died when those machines went crazy. His air wheeler dropped right out of the sky, and he didn't survive the crash. Damn fool wasn't wearing a regulator. I know it sounds so strange these days, but he'd never bothered with one. I was at peace with the idea of dying someday, and I thought I understood what that meant until it happened. Why was me in such a fine mood, you ask? Well, I've just registered my new regulator. I was leery of becoming nothing but memories at first. Now that I've gotten through with the registration, I've never felt more at ease. Also, once it was done, the regulator displayed the current numbers of the 5,000 slots available. Over 3,800 have already been filled. So if you're still hesitant, you've not much time to make up your mind up. Mark my words, friend, when there's only a few slots left, it's going to get very ugly. A word? I feel like there was a new factor in these stories we've heard. One we hadn't considered during our discussion with everyone in the back room. The fact that nearly 4,000 people have registered is worthy of its own report, but are you sure there wasn't anything else? Yes, that's it. The vast majority of residents have always grown regular, so it's not a detail we'd normally think about. The supplies of souls cut off, though. More and more people have been going without them. We need to look into the casualties from the recent attacks and check whether or not they were equipped with regulators. Let's round on the street over to the east. It was pretty chaotic at the time, but maybe we'll find eyewitnesses who can help us confirm if this was a pattern or not. It's once my job to deliver goods by hover cargo. That's why I know a fair number of names and faces throughout the city. The ones who jumped for joy when I brought them the packages. The old lady who'd always greet me with a smile. I'd hate for anything bad to happen to them. Please let me know if I'd be of service. Citywide casualty data unavailable. Government officials are currently processing reports from all affected zones. You narrow it down to the recreation zone then. You must have some estimates on hand. Recalibrating parameters. Injured, 87 individuals. Casualties, 19 individuals. Casualties equipped with regulators, 0. You should know the people who died in the machine rampage were wearing regulators. I'm sorry, but I was assigned to clearing away debris. I didn't see any of the deceased. The bodies were present by the time I arrived, so I assumed the ushers had already done their work. I do remember there being patches of white dust scattered about that were quite a chore to clean up, but nothing else worthy of mention. I think it's time we rejoin Cryo and Sphene. I was half joking with my boast to Shale, but we maybe have stumbled upon something major here. We should share our findings and keep pursuing this avenue of inquiry. Didn't Cryo say to meet them in the plaza just outside of Trueview? Let's get going. So essentially you're saying that the people who were killed by malfunction machines weren't wearing regulators. Well, the rumors are still tentative and only apply to that one zone. We don't know how they'll stack up against the overall data. This is definitely more than a coincidence. I think it's safe to say that anyone who had removed the regulators was a priority target. Now that you mention it, the person I was treating for injuries wasn't wearing one either. Why? Why are they being targeted over everyone else? Based solely on the lack of neo-regulator, we cannot judge a person has no desire to become endless, or they simply fail to acquire one of the limited devices. But those who wear no regulator at all, they have clearly rejected the old system of using souls to revive themselves. Put another way, they have chosen to live their lives in knowledge that death is an inevitability. The chances that such resolute people would wish to become endless are far lower, I would imagine. So Calix has chosen those least likely to accept his vision as victims to stoke fear and panic. But there was no need to kill anyone. The way things were, the people were already fearful enough. He could have found 5,000 willing citizens without all this madness. Made a good point. Perhaps the sowing of terror is in service to another scheme. What's some other need for the lives he's taken? I wonder what about the sanitation worker story. She saw no bodies but mentioned piles of white dust. Dust, but no bodies. Now, where have I heard that before? Do you recall when we went to save Aaronville from the sentries in the outskirts? That Usher Malachite told us much the same thing. When I arrived, I found no body, only a pile of dust which the wind quickly scattered. Confused, I questioned the residents, but none knew what had become of it. That both stories speak of missing remains is suspicious enough, but the shared mention of the dust is too much to ignore. In that case, we should confirm if this substance was present at other sites, and attempt to ascertain its nature. Following this thread may lead us not only to an explanation for the missing bodies, but also the intent behind Calix's murderous actions. We need your help. I've lost control of the soldiers in the residential area. They might be trying to hurt people again. Family members are on their way now, but are you close enough to join them? Damn it, our new investigation will have to wait. Let's go.
Locked the door and everything. I managed to run, but the man who tried to save me to you. I'm going to do a sweep of the surrounding area.
Do you know anyone else in this sector who no longer wears a regulator?
I don't think I've seen Isadora and her boy with theirs recently.
Go to them, quickly!
I'll be fine. But Isadora's in bad shape. Mother! Mother, please!
Isadora! Oh, thank goodness. She wasn't struck anywhere vital.
I'm sorry. If only I'd gotten here sooner.
Really, there wasn't much you could have done about it.
Everything will be all right. I promise to make your mother better.
Thank you, miss. Will she sleep like that forever?
No, not forever. She'll wake soon, I'm sure of it.
That's good to hear. Thank you for saving her.
Forgive me, I was reckless. I shouldn't have had to waste time tending my wounds as well. Did you see our other comrade back there? He stayed behind in the lobby, but I heard the sounds of fighting. I'm sorry. Let's fall on protecting the residents. Our comrade, you think he may have been struck down? If he's wounded or worse, I should go to him. Wait, please. It isn't safe and you still need rest. Would you stay with Milos and watch over Isadora for me? We will tend to your friend. Thank you. Please be careful yourself. excuse me. Isadora is going to be alright. I've just finished my ministrations here. Our Oblivion comrade was beyond saving, I'm afraid. Brave soul, he gave his life to save another. He died protecting me. I don't understand why any of this is happening. The sentry is behaving normally like any other. Then all of a sudden, it tried to kill me. Weapons or no, Calyx commanded them to commit murder. Is it over? We came as soon as Waweki sent word. I'm sorry, by the time we arrived it was already too late. Then Geo could be in trouble too. Once we have this radius locked down, we need to find him. But why? Has something happened? Possibly, we're not sure what, but he stopped responding to our communications. We need to prioritize securing the residential sector, though at least until we regain control over the sentries. Then we should search for Geode. I agree, since most Oblivion members have sworn off regulators, if our theory holds true, then they could be prime targets for the next attack. Please do what you can to shepherd the residents to safety, but avoid the sentries at all costs. Our thanks. Here, take these communicators. We made modifications to them to prevent Calyx from intercepting the signal, and have been using them to coordinate movements with allies in the vicinity. Wilkie has one too, so I'll ask her to keep hailing Geode. Good luck and stay safe. Geode said he would sweep the surrounding area, so he shouldn't have ventured too far. Let's get going. No sign of him. Geode? Geode? Answer me.
This is the only place left. Let them be safe.
Geo,
Sorry for the long silence. I've been busy.
Oh, you're alive. Thank the gods. Where are you now?
The radius next door. The lobby is secure. I'll scout the second floor. Then I'll join. Dust.
Dust? What are you talking about? What's happening?
They're not just collecting souls. They're draining the bodies of corporeal ether. The dust that we saw was all that was left of the victims. They must have modified the soul cells. Shit.
Forgot to reload.
You can't be here. You need to run now. A trap. Take care of the others, eh?
No sign of him so far. This way, maybe?
Geode!
A shame. I had hoped to leave here with at least one more cell's worth of ether. But seeing how eager you are to interfere, I shall cut this foray short.
Calyx. What could you possibly stand to gain from these atrocities?
Ether sufficient to generate 5,000 endless. How would you acquire it?
How would I?
Until I have the key, the reflections are closed to me. Thus do I make do with the sources at hand. 7% of Alexandria's current population will yield the energy to convert 5,000 into endless. With 11%, operations could continue unabated for 800 years. Our bodies are fated to decay sooner or later. These ones refuse the gift of eternal life, so what difference does it make if I return them to ether now? I will not waste time and resources on meaningless conflict. This unit cannot offer you worthwhile resistance. Instead, I pose a question. Would you hand over the key if I promise to halt my harvest? It was foolish of me to even ask.
Yeah, it was.
I return to my work then. There is much to do if I must take the key by force.
The soul cells he left behind. Damn you, Calyx. Damn you and your careless cruelty. He was our friend. And so some might say every death was justified if it meant 5,000 endless could continue their immortal lives. A reflection solely ether allowed from many more endless, why, that too would be a noble sacrifice for the greater good. Who could think that? Not I. Certainly not I. We know only too well there is naught noble in this sacrifice. We have to stop. We have to find Calyx and put an end to this madness as soon as possible. Under no circumstances can we let the key fall into his possession. If it falls to us, we will thwart his plans here in Alexandria before he can terrorize his innocence and reflections elsewhere. Return to the back room. Shale and the others need to know what happened. Yes, I'll ask Wiki to meet us there as well.
Our dear Geode. The soldiers. If only I'd been able to control them.
This isn't your fault, Gololja. The blame lies with Calix, and with him alone. It's all so senseless. Why force his plans upon us when we're already happy, living our lives? What does he even think life is? I'll never forgive Calix for doing this. Or myself for being powerless to stop him.
Wait, where are you going?
To clear my head. Don't worry, I won't do anything stupid.
Stay here and get some rest. I'll make sure nostalgia stays out of trouble.
Thank you.
Things would have been far worse if you and Geode hadn't rushed in there. Many people are still alive because of you. And after adding what you discovered to the leads we've dug up, I'm hopeful we can determine where Calix is hiding. But not right now. We need time before we can move on. Just a little time.
Oh, Geode.
Another comrade gone. Some days it's almost more than I can bear. Geode was... He was an older brother to Nostalgia and me. Shale knew him longer, though, and he has surely taken it the hardest. And that's on top of what happened with Kakiwa. Then will you check on her, see how she's doing? She'd just like to put on a brave face if it's me or my sister. Apologies, my mind was elsewhere. You can't help yourself, can you? Still, I appreciate the concern. Kakiwa used to say the best thing to do with grief was to let it all out. So I think I'll take myself over to Earth and Sky and say my goodbyes to Geode. Hey, come along. I could use someone to blubber to if you've a shoulder to spare. Right then, let's get out to Everkeep for a bit. It's a fair trek on foot, so I've arranged for a couple of air-wheelers. I've had their communication modules removed, so even Calyx shouldn't be able to seize-control them. Say the word and we'll set off. Radio will be flying close to pylons. Follow my lead. Air-wheelers are Genolt's babies. You won't find them smooth ride in all of Everkeep. For years now, I've been taking one out for a turn whenever I need to lighten my mood. Sometimes you guys would come along too, and we'd end up... Does that surprise you? Our friendship always had a competitive edge. Shall we talk about how one day we might fly our wheelers outside the dome? Almost there. Be sure the ground is clear before you touch down. Phew! That's helped clear my head a bunch. Or a touch. You know, you might be the first person I've ridden with who wasn't an Oblivion recruit. As far as I remember, at least, memories from my regulator days aren't exactly reliable. Come on, let's head inside. Hopefully the way will be clear of pests today. Ooh, we got enemies here. Let's do this, and then this, and then kill the things. Thanks. I usually avoid such encounters, but sometimes they wander in and block the only path. I'm not slowed you down at all. I've never seen you fight up close before, and the surveillance feed clearly didn't do it justice. Hopefully that keeps the route clear for a while, shall we?
Whenever we lost a comrade, the three of us would come back here to reminisce. Me, Geode, and Kafkiwa. Will you raise a glass?
What are the two of you doing here?
I had a feeling you'd show up. Would you like to join us?
I suppose I could spare a moment. They tell us Oblivion's founders disappeared some decades ago under mysterious circumstances. And it was Kafkiwa who revived our organization. You and Geode helped her with that, didn't you? Tell us more about it. You're keen to know too, right? What they were like back then. The mad things they got up to. That sort of thing.
Those were the days. It was actually right before the Reformation that I met Geode. I still wore a regulator then. I'd recently lost someone close to me. And also quit a long stint as an adapter to work at a bar of all places. It paid me to sit with patrons and keep them company. So Geode came in one night. It wasn't long before we got into an argument. First-time customer, but tempers flared. And then one of us threw a punch.
You got into a fist fight? What were you even arguing about?
They don't know.
Damned if I know. We were deep in our cups. I think we were both just frustrated and angry at everything. By the end of it, we were both sprawled out in the street. A pair of drunken fools. Then this odd machine stopped to lecture us, scolding us for obstructing the foot traffic and not taking better care of ourselves.
I can't imagine you ever being in such a sorry state.
The odd machine.
That was Kafkiwa, I take it.
That it was. Once she was done upbraiding us for our unseemly behavior, she launched into a recruitment pitch. Kafkiwa explained that she wanted to protect the outside world from Zoralja's invasion, to keep him from bringing ruin to the place her beloved son lived. And if we were so intent on self-destruction, then perhaps we might consider risking our hides for a just cause. It was a lot to take in. I hadn't given much thought to what lay beyond the barrier, and learning that Kafkiwa herself was already dead was enough to make my head spin. resistance existed. She did, however, suspect the presence of other dissidents, those who objected to resurrecting the memories of the dead in defiance of the natural order. In the hopes of identifying like-minded comrades, we began searching the core system for traces of unauthorized access, and that's how we found it. An anomalous sector in the back of the Neon Stein. According to Melancholy, the door to that mystery had remained firmly shut since she took over the business. The back room. The back room. We forced our way in, only to discover that...
That's a series of games I don't really have any idea about playing. I mean, maybe I might get dragged into it by Kirby and them, but...
contained records of a group calling itself Oblivion. After reading through their exploits and their vision for the future, we made the decision to carry on their work.
Thus were my parents and Kafkiwa's hopes bound together. And carried onward by Shell and Geo.
We could never have made it this far on our own, of course. Not without the strength of arms you and your friends provided. Losing comrades is a hard thing, but being here, thinking back on the moments we shared, I can see their smiles, hear their laughter. I feel their presence, and I know they're still with us. But these memories of mine are for me alone. Reminders of why I chose to do this, and why I'll stay the course. Right. Time we got back to work. Thank you, everyone.
No, it's me who should be thanking you. Though the pain is still deep, I don't feel like I'm drowning in it anymore. Let's get out there and put a stop to Calyx. For you, for me, and for everyone who's ever believed in Oblivion.
Appreciate your helping me through this. And not only the grief, you've helped me see that my comrades mean even more to me than I realized, which only fuels my determination. I'll be spending every waking moment working to bring Calyx to account for his crimes. I'll do my part, then you do yours. Oblivion needs you. One moment here. Actually, I just want to look something up. Okay. She steals her heart for the work ahead. This time I went back to locating Calyx's lair. I have a new strategy in mind. Remains to be seen if it will aid in narrowing down the possibilities. Ask Crab for help. I want to re-examine the data, starting with that of her parents. After all, they were the first to break away from the preservation and establish an organized resistance to Oblivion. There must be something in there that can point us in the right direction. What are your plans? Is that you? Apologies for calling suddenly. Making the rounds in the outskirts, I cannot help but feel as though something is amiss. May I ask you to join me? Your perspective should be most appreciated. It can wait until you've finished attending to Shell, of course. Seems your plans have been decided for you. Go on, I have others to speak with before I return to the back room. I have no problem with my plans being decided for me. Honestly, half the time, I'd rather choose that option. It's like, please, make my life easier. Thank you for coming. As I mentioned, I would benefit from your worldly experience. That's just my imagination, but the townspeople appear to be acting oddly. That is even considering the current state of affairs. As you met unfamiliar with the outskirts, I thought you might be better equipped to judge if the behavior is unusual or not. Would you speak with them and see what you think? Though I hope to be proven wrong, I fear something is not right here. You're not wearing a regulator. Don't you know the end is coming? Well, it's your life to lose. Me, I got myself one of these neo-regulators and registered a little while ago. As soon as I did, a display appeared showing the number of registered users. Right now it's sitting at 4,168. The upper limit was 5,000, wasn't it? Seems the total shot up right after those machine malfunctions. It's only a matter of time before everyone's registered. I pity those who weren't chosen. But I'm going to be an endless. I'm going to evolve and live happily ever after. Uh-huh. Sure you are. You keep those high spirits. Bastia. Oh, please tell me you brought more neo-regulators. Officially, they've all been handed out already, but I've heard rumors there were a few left over. Surely the government still has some, or perhaps Queen's Fiend? No, look it, but I was a hunter once. Back then I hardly gave death a second thought, but now that I know the truth, that's all I can think about. There has to be a way to hold on. There has to. Greetings, I remember when you visited with Queen's Fiend. Come check on our well-being, have you? Well, I can say that things are rather stressful out here as well. Not knowing if or when our machinery may turn murderous, the specter of death is ever present. People are terrified, and the clamor for neo-regulators has reached a fever pitch. I personally was fortunate to have claimed a new device early on and have long since completed the registration. Death has no hold over me now. Now I must begin my prayers. The darkness draws closer, grows deeper, and we must cast it out. So what do you think? Was I right to worry? Yes, that is exactly it. People are overwhelmed by uncertainty and fear, and with each new registration, that fear inside them grows more insistent. How long until it drives them into full-blown panic? Can you come to resolution? We have a problem. I'm already here with Llama T and Alphano. Sounds like she wants us there in a hurry. We should go.
What's happened? Sorry to drag you out here, but I thought it best you see for yourself.
Death is your constant companion. Though you toil with diligence, death may come ere your reward is bestowed. Though your grand works be poised for completion, death may come ere you wake the following morn. Though you enjoy a life of peace and good fortune, death needs but one instant to claim you. Your bodies are weak. Your heart, your brain, every fragile organ rolls the dice from moment to moment. Sheer chance deciding if they function or fail.
Wow, laying the fear on thick, aren't they?
Or generous, or righteous, no virtues tip the scales in that fatal reckoning. The choice is made without reason. The end is cloaked in terror. That is what it means to die.
The announcement began after we finished our meeting with Gossamer. As for its source, well,
Calyx.
There is no shame in being afraid. It is that very fear which will drive you to conquer death. Let us set a new course for mankind. Let us preserve our existence unto perpetuity. Hope for it, wish for it, pray for it. We will become endless. With evolution's brilliance will we banish the ever-present darkness of mortality.
change isn't easy. No one ever wants to take the first step. But this is the right path for us. What other way could there be? I'm gonna do it. I'm going to register.
Thou, Woodlamat! You couldn't have come at a better time. Please, you have to let us move to Tuliolal.
It's too dangerous to stay here. Who knows when the next century will turn on us? Even if we wanted to become endless, there are no more neo-regulators to be had. Fleeing is our only option.
If the solution was as simple as leaving, then we'd all have left already. Did you not hear the announcement? For the living, death is a foregone conclusion. No matter where we go, or who we shelter with, we won't get another chance like this to overcome our fate.
Easy for you to say when you have that regulator.
The Landsguard are on their way as we speak, and arrangements have been made to see that you all will be safely evacuated. Tulichola will aid you in whatever way we can. So please, remain calm.
I want to help Alexandria. I want to save its people. But what can I do? I am not their queen.
Okay. Calix has access to the core system, which means that if he chooses to do so, he can deploy the soldiers beyond the barrier. Even if our people learn to live with death and decide to leave the dome behind, they will not be beyond his reach. Yet if it serves to allay their fears even a little, I beg you, Weklama, please let them shelter in Tuliolo. We will welcome any and all who want to come. We've already begun evacuations, and we'll be able to pick up the pace once the land guard arrives. In which case, we had best spread and keep an eye on the crowds. The mood is tense, and we must prepare for possible violence. If you haven't determined where Calix is hiding, though, we'll be ready to move at a moment's notice. Surely we'll find a clue of some kind soon. He can't elude us forever. He's certainly doing a pretty good job of it. Violence of fear. This is not the future she envisioned for our nation. Says they're surrounded with grim determination. Tuliolo would gladly welcome every last Alexandrian with open arms. What the nation the late Queen was so desperate to preserve? What that bright haven of peace and laughter? Weklama. I won't stand here and let her legacy be sullied any further. I will protect Alexandria. That was the promise I made her at the last. But she betrayed you, did she not? Why do you feel this obligation? I saw myself in her, I suppose. We both felt the people's joy as our own, yet alone we lacked the strength to protect them. There is so much that I love in this world, too much for me to take in my arms and keep safe. And that made me afraid. I needed someone who shared that love and fear. So together we could do what we couldn't by ourselves. Or maybe it's simpler than that. I just wish that we could have been friends. So she turned to me in her final hour, desperate to safeguard Alexandria's future. I swore that I would see it done. In the end, I think you both found the friend you needed. I would be yours as well, Sphene. Whenever you fail or struggle to rise, I'll come running to the rescue, and you do the same for me. That's how we'll protect the things we love. That's how we'll protect Alexandria. You're right. You're right. And, well, don't forget about me. Yeah, that sounds about right. How could we? We'd not be where we are now without you. Right, we got a bit sidetracked there. We should probably be on our way. Do we patrol or see if Shell needs a hand? There you all are. Gulja. Ah, splendid. We were afraid we'd miss you. Alice and the others said you were here. Good news. We finally found a chink in Calix's armor. Well, that's good. We discovered laboratories in Everkeep's 10th level that once housed the Preservation Initiative. Containment Complex 10-29 is called. And it's been falsely registered as a distribution center. In reality, it hasn't recorded any traffic in decades. We don't think this is where Calix is hiding as such, but it may well contain clues that will point us in the right direction. I'm sorry it took so long just to get this far. If you're interested, what do you say we'll all go and check it out together? Thank you for all your hard work. This is a huge step forward. And up, we need to take the lift to get to the complex. I've cleared this exhibition with the relevant authorities and have one of our people waiting to operate said lift. Let's not keep her waiting. Okay. Ready to head on up? Next up, the 10th level.
So this is one of Preservation's laboratories.
It's so dark I can barely see.
Just a moment. If I can reroute the power to the circuit.
You got the lights working!
Smell how stale the air is. This room hasn't been in use for many years.
It was thanks to Kral and Galulja that we managed to locate this place.
You may remember that my earring contained the control code for the gate to the Golden City. As it was Preservation that constructed the portal, we reasoned that the code to operate it might include a signature of some sort, unique to their organization.
So I took a closer look, and a line-by-line examination yielded a string of symbols identifying the code's author. We then began accessing the nodes for every door in Everkeep, seeking out control codes which contained those same symbols. After a grueling search, we finally discovered our prize behind door number 1860, the entrance to the facility in which we now stand. I'd probably still be at it if Galuzia hadn't been around to assist me.
I took breaks, but Shale never stopped working. Not even once.
Those concoctions would probably do me more harm than good, but I appreciate the sentiment. In any case, this next part will require your helping hands.
We need to spread out and search for something that may lead us to Calyx. We're more than happy to help, of course, but I wonder, won't he realize we've found this place?
It's highly likely, and personally I hope he does.
And I've learned of certain devices should help us do just that. I'll say how we proceed, but according to the information I was able to dredge up, the device in question should have been installed in the director's office. Now, as for where that might be, yes, this map catches my data, or matches my data. This room we're in is the Researcher's Commons, located in the western side of the complex. The Director's office is to the northeast of here. So we should cut across the circular chamber in the middle, yes? Yes, we should, but unfortunately for us, the interior door is locked. We'll need a security key with the appropriate clearance to open it. Judging by the mechanism, it'll probably be a card of some kind. Can't, work some electro magic? I'll try my best, but this type of lock is well before my time. It may take a while to crack it. In case I can't, yeah, I might want to look around to see if anyone else left a security card behind. Considering the state of the place, it does seem like they abandoned in some haste. I shouldn't be surprised if we found one. Very well, let's get to searching, shall we? Expect we'll have most luck looking where the researchers kept their personal belongings. Okay. Because I do need to draw some cards here, because... yeah. So first up is for Dusko TV raid a couple weeks ago. And we drew an Assault Rider, which is a Fate series card. No flavor text on that. Next is we have a follow from Thorn of Rose 18. Wonderful person. So we get a Simple Question Ilya from the same series. And then we have a follow from It's Fugue, which gives us a Black Armored Knight Saber Altar, which actually kind of looks kind of neat. And we got tons more I gotta do to catch up. So, but give me just a few moments here so I can figure out which ones I need to do and get those drawn. Oh, could that be what we're looking for? Try on the door and see if it opens. It's open. You did it. A good thing, too. I was getting nowhere with that outdated circuit. I'm curious, though. Why would they abandon a facility like this? It was run by Director Demetrius, or so that terminal there told me. Perhaps there are more answers to be had once we venture further inside. And let's continue onwards. The door to the director's office is across the central hub. Okay, so we got another Dosco raid from 11 days ago. But for that, we drew a Preparing for Battle Shiryu. And we'll actually need to draw a whole another card pack here. No, don't like our card. How unfortunate. How unfortunate for it. We're going to do another Final Fantasy XIV Magic the Gathering pack. No good, maybe we need a different card. Yes, the scanner's demanding a level 3 security clearance to open the lock. Just as the delay chased me, we'll just have to comb through the nearby rooms and hope we stumble upon the card we need. Start searching the proto lab. That door is already open at least. Find a way through together, Shale. I'm sure of it. The way this room is set up, the canister inserted into that large device looks to be a soul cell. Could this be where they conducted their experiments to create Endless? But we could probably spend days investigating this complex. Finding a way into their director's office must take precedence. Seeing which, Gulujal mentioned a locker over in the corner that he couldn't open. Perhaps you could take a look? $158? $11509. You got the locker open. You found another security card. Oh, but does that say level 2? We needed level 3, didn't we? Yes, but it seemed more... Should still open more doors for us to explore. You did well. Those Reservation members led such surprisingly normal lives. I noticed for losing their cards. I guess I imagined they'd be more... What's the word? Bloodless? Mechanical? My parents were once part of preservation, if you'll recall. Seeing the researchers who agree with Calyx and his philosophy underwent the conversion to endless entities. But I assume those who could not or would not eventually left the organization altogether. Oh, I almost forgot. The researchers kept journals in their data tablets. The one I read doesn't explain much, but something big happened in the complex, and afterwards it decided that everyone would become endless. Mary was really happy about this. You can tell how much they admired Calyx and his work. The entries ended after that, but maybe you can read more on the other tablet there. Right, let's move this investigation to another room. Well, we have the Detoro lab and the maintenance facilities left to search. Both are accessed via the southeast corridor. Inspect the hub and the locked door across the way. Which will hopefully yield before our new security card. I'll take the old one if you like. I doubt we'll have any more use of it. Yes, it opened. So where should we go first? The Detoro lab facilities. Let's start with the lab. And so we've got follow from Crazy Chicken 92 10 days ago. For that, we drew Thunder Magic. Kind of an interesting little Thunderbolt card there. Got some options with that. I have a feeling I'm going to finally need to order a new binder. Sure, there doesn't seem to be any power here. No, none at all. None at all. It's possible the energy supply for this room is on a separate conduit. Which means there should be a contingency for opening the door. Look here, there's a sign above the card scanner. In case of emergency, backup power can be rerouted from facilities. Facilities room is down the other branch of this corridor. Let's see about getting the power restored to the tutorial lab, shall we? Engaging power supply. No good. It's returning an error. There must be a preliminary procedure. According to the error code reference, if the power supply has been interrupted for an extended period of time, then we need to reconfigure both the emergency generator and the circuit control panels. Shale, that's the emergency generator over there, isn't it? Yes, and by the looks of it, it's the same model as the one used in Heritage Found. But how does it send power to the other lab? Ah, I see. The energy cable attached to the base of this terminal leads down the hall, directly to the tutorial lab. Means we need a way to connect the generator to that cable. What about these patterns on the floor? Could this be the circuit we need to reconfigure? I believe you have the right of it. Using this controls path set into each of the tiles, we create an unbroken path for the power to follow. Well, I won't give for an instruction manual. Dave, we could look around for any written procedure. I'll keep digging through the terminal's directories. I asked someone to operate the generator. I can do it. I've used that type of machine before. Then would you be willing to try and reconfigure the circuit path? This can help by supplying Kieran with whatever information might be found on the circuitry configuration. Okay. There we go. It worked. We did it. Wasn't a hard puzzle. The tutorial should now be powered. Well done, everyone. If I may, Shell, could we access a certain dialogue before moving on? I was checking the storage shelves, and one of the devils caught my eye. Preservation. The Early Days is the title. Of course, it'll take a moment to bring up the contents. Ah, it looks like to be a text-based account. I'll read it aloud. Preservation. An Alexandrian Institute for Technological Development was founded by Calix, an 11-year-old child prodigy. Approval for establishing the organization came during Alexandria's involvement in the storm surge. With Calix's design for new defensive solutions funded in large part by the Treasury. As the conflict grew in intensity and casualties mounted, Calix funneled Preservation's resources towards the perfection of memory storage. Research into this field continued even after the storm surge came to an end, with Calix eventually electing to preserve his own memories in a virtual domain. So this count was from before he embraced this endless existence, hundreds of years ago. I met him only once before the storm surge began. I was attending my father, who was then the reigning king of Alexandria. Calix could not have been more than 10 years of age, and required constant treatment for his debilitating illness. Yet still, he published theories so highly regarded that even the royal family was aware of his achievements. Life should not be lost to the injustice of death. Even now I can hear the single-minded will behind his words. So as when the war came to our kingdom, my father was quick to commit his unwavering support to this somber youth, and his proposals for preservation. Several years later, the ensuing violence brought the death of both my parents. Overwhelmed as I was by my sudden succession to the throne, I suspect they spared me reports on endless research and other less urgent matters. So he had no way of knowing what kind of person Calix was changing into. Did he change, I wonder? Perhaps he has ever been the type to value ideals over compassion. and I failed to see it at the time. Perhaps he did change, but is still driven by those same deeply held beliefs. Mortality is cruel and unjust, and his role is to deliver mankind from its fate. Whatever the case may be, we cannot allow him to shape our future. Let's press on, shall we? I've done my job correctly. The door to the tutorial lab should be successful now. I'll give everyone thing as once over just to be sure. The energy current seems to be stable enough, so we should let me handle this one. Security guard, if you please. Oh, and a quick prayer that a shorted wire doesn't burn me from the inside out. Right, I'll get this door open. Phew, smooth as silk. Let's head inside and see what awaits. Gods above, isn't that... the key to interdimensional fusion? That looks to be a schematic on the monitor. They use it to make another key, but isn't it missing the shard inside the one, like the one that they have? Ah, we may have been laboring under a misconception. The key was originally a Malala relic. Once its treasure came into its possession, preservation began working to harness the power to cross dimensions. Aside from the crystal, we can see that all the vessel's components were constructed here. So what might that tell us? That'd be a logical conclusion, yes. It is as my parents explained. The key remains shrouded in mystery. Preservation augmented with the electorate, but never grasped the technology's underlying principles. This day, not a single person understands the mechanics of interdimensional fusion. Not who imbued the key with its power, not when they did so, nor why. Now it makes sense. Calyx can track the key because its vessel was made by preservation. I believe there is much we may learn in this room. On our next visit, I will have to enlist Ishtola's assistance for a thorough investigation. I too am curious about a great many things, but pinning down Calyx's whereabouts is our priority. Hopefully there is a security card here that can grant us access to the director's office. The research conducted in this lab appears to have been highly confidential in nature. Some of the personnel must have belonged to the organization's upper echelons, and that means higher security clearance. We should spread out and look for any cards that they left behind. Remember, anything less than a level 3 is no good to us. Oh well, I have just enough spots to finish up everything on this book binder. Oh, did you just find a security card? Well, that's a stroke of luck. Let's have Shell examine to be sure. Oh, well, if it isn't exactly what we needed, nice work. Oh, level 3, that should get us into the director's office. So what was it you were hoping to find in there again, Shale? You were saying that a certain device was going to help us. Right, I haven't probably explained myself, have I? I'm looking for a data relay. After we discovered this ostensibly abandoned complex, I performed a cursory investigation which detected a connection to an outside network. When I traced the data's routing, I confirmed traffic from a web of Everkeep security cameras. Staying the way Calyx is always one step ahead of us, we must assume he's quietly seized control of the city's surveillance system. He's been using it to monitor our activities. To monitor what you, as the keyholder, are planning. But since Calyx is the ultimate recipient of those transmissions, the flow of data is like a river that we can follow back to him. So I need the data relay. If I can analyze the device and see where it's rerouting all the surveillance traffic. Then you can pinpoint Calyx's position. That said, he has done nothing to impede our progress, which makes me think I might be on an entirely the wrong track. Maybe the reason he isn't stopping is because he can't. Back in the old castle, Calyx said he was measuring their strength. What can he possibly dream up that's stronger than them? I was thinking of cameras. There was another thing I meant to mention. I found evidence that someone deliberately disabled the surveillance feed in this room. This recent recording was also crudely deleted. I would restore the data, though, if you'd like to see it. I'll start the show, then.
Are you really planning to leave?
Yes. The idea of eternal life. It's begun to frighten me.
I struggle to renounce our conventional wisdom. Death is the means by which life prunes its branches, leaving the trunk to grow strong and tall. We die so that our species may flourish. What would become of mankind were we to halt that process? If unending stagnation is the fruit of our labor, then perhaps we strive for the wrong thing.
Your argument is a rejection of Master Calyx's vision.
I suppose it is. Perhaps such such dread would not plague me, were I capable of sharing his perspective on the subject. But I cannot. He and I were too different, in too many ways. I lack his extraordinary genius. I had no illness threatening to cut my life short, no singularity of will to cut away all distractions and focus solely upon research. I have nothing but respect for his determination. The way he overcame his prognosis and seized the means to transcend death itself. But I'm not convinced that this obsession with living is the right path. That's why I've decided to leave preservation and put all my effort towards building a legacy for the next generation to come. Surely you...
Protocol, you understand. There can be no exceptions.
I checked the images against the personal data, and the man who pulled the trigger was Director Demetrius himself. Everything I could find on him pointed to deep infatuation with Master Calyx. The cameras were... I'm not surprised, given how my parents described their defection from the Institute. They spoke of rushing me through a portal, even as the preservation agents closed in on them. I didn't ask what became of them after that, but if it turns out they were captured by their pursuers... I don't believe that they did, and even if they didn't, I hope they at least enjoyed what time they had as endless. Oh, Cryo. Worry not, Sabine. Thanks to the Haven of Living Memory, I was at least able to meet my parents and learn what they stood for. It is enough for me to carry on. Now we don't know how the conflict unfolded between your parents. What we do know is that your mother and father cleverly expunged every last trace of their movements. To make sure that no one could cross into the source or threaten their child's safety. Right, let's press on, shall we? This tale behind this key deserves a fitting conclusion. To the director's office. There we go, let's head inside. Now find that data relay. Don't be shy, everyone. Speak up if anything odd catches your eye. Come with me, I might have need of that security card. Okay, actually, we've got this moment. Let's finish drawing the cards that we need to draw. So first we have Shrive Alive's follow from about a week ago or so. And so for that, oh, interesting. Got Vincent's Limit Break. Neat looking card. Next we again have a Dosco TV raid. And for that, we drew a Dwarven Castle Guard with the caption of Lolly Ho is the Dwarven greeting. Next, we got a Cal Play Games Now follow. Ooh, that looks pretty. And for their follow, we drew a Windstone. And then it looks like Croy's getting an art card for his raid from 5 days ago. That's, Terra Brand from Final Fantasy XIV? Then we have a follow from FBGM Tiana. And for that, we get a Blitzball shot. Everyone seems to be calling for Waka, folks. And then we have a Azure Tiger follow. Just for that, we drew a Charlian Nation of Scholars. The Charlians were the keepers of wisdom, both old and new. Their mastery over magic and ether was unsurpassed, and even the Garleans knew to fear them. And then for the last card we need to draw, is for a Smoke A7 Leaf follow. So let's see, what are our two options here? Got Magic card. I like this side better. Side quest, card collection. The glory of the tourney awaits. And well, that's it for cards needing drawn right now. In the end of that volume. So we've now completed 2 volumes of card books for the channel. Damn, this terminal wasn't connected to any outside network, so it can't be the data relay I'm looking for. It's also smaller than the map suggested. I'm positive we're in the right room. What am I missing? Could you ask you and the others to search the office for any clues to this infuriating puzzle? Yep, someone was obsessed with this guy. You found something? Thank you, a misplaced note, was it? Instructions for accessing a secure room, no less. Seems we need to enter password on 3 different terminals at the same time. There was so much room marked on the map, was there? No, precautionary measure, no doubt. And if passwords are involved, I expect the access lift itself was concealed too. Concealed by electrope, you mean? Oh, it could be that wall? I thought it seemed odd when I walked past. Remember what Kiwa used to say, Shale, never trust an electrope surface. And of course, electrope is how you alter the look of all of Solution 9's floors and walls, isn't it? In which case, it shouldn't be hard to disable. Another door? I should deactivate the protection, but the lock is another story. Then they'll lay out the password protocol. I say we go ahead and try it. I agree. Two people should prepare the lab terminals for input while the rest of us look for the passwords here in the office. I'll take the proto lab. Then I'll take the Tuturo lab. Actually, it might be better if you stayed, Sphene. Your knowledge of Alexandria's people could be needed here. Yes, you're right. If the passwords are hiding behind clues, that may be something I can help with. I can help too. I've lived my whole life in Alexandria, after all. I'll take Tuturo lab duty then. We can keep in touch via communicator to match our timing. We shall have the honor of entering the office password. Once determine what we need to input, take your place at this terminal. I'll stand by to guide Wuklama and Crow through the process. You know, there was this display plate over there. The one with the gems. I thought since it was made of electro, it might have some other purpose. I can't find any switches or buttons to make it do anything. Maybe you can figure it out. Oh, I should be reading all this. Try these words at the terminal and see if they're accepted. I certainly hope you're right. We're right. Um, I'm tired. I think after this quest, I'm going to bed. We're all set to go here. Wuklama and Crow are just waiting on their passwords. Let's start with Wuklama in the Proto Lab. What should she enter? Yes. Oh, I'm so glad that worked. The Scare Room is the only place we've yet to search. If the data relay is anywhere, it has to be there. We'll enter in as soon as Wuklama and Crow rejoin us. Alright, everyone, time to board the lift and see what awaits us.
This terminal doesn't look special to me, but this is definitely what we're after?
It is. Whether or not it will suffice for our purposes is another question.
The Endless are created using the memories of the deceased. But as memories are, in essence, collections of data, the resultant entities have no physical form. These data entities, as we might call them, have only two methods for interacting with the material world. One of these we saw in the memory, where the Endless are granted temporary bodies through the use of corporeal ether. They become much like solid ghosts that one can see and touch. The other method, which Kafkiwa employed, is the remote operation of a machine. But where do you suppose the Endless are to be found when not inhabiting a physical body? The Endless are memories, and if memories are data, then...
Oh, sorry about that. Dozed off for a moment. Well, more like I got distracted.
Yes, we suspect they reside in a virtual domain, one contained entirely within an electric-based machine. We've seen such a world before, after all.
Oh, you mean like the Alexandria made from the Endless Fiend's memories? It all seems so real.
nation's future, and the hero to whom she entrusted that priceless key. I am unsure to what degree she perceived my presence, but she knew that someone was watching. Does that satisfy your curiosity?
It does. And I'm satisfied that you will take nothing more from this nation. Not one more life, not one more future, not one single smile from another child's face. You hear me? Sorry for losing my temper, but there's only one way we can deal with people like Calyx. Whatever grand future he envisions, someone will be made to pay the price. And I won't let that happen.
If I may, I realize it is not my place to say this. Even so, I must thank you both. On behalf of my other self, allow me to say how grateful I am to have you as our champions.
Phew, well that was an adventure. May not have been the message I was hoping for, but at least now we know where to find Calyx and what we need to do next. Indeed, while I'm really curious about Preservation's research into the key, that is an investigation for another day. Let's head straight back to the back room. We should get everyone on the same page before we make our move. This is 7.3 that we're currently working on. Welcome by. Good to see you again. Damn that bastard Calyx. He waited until I was this close before snatching away my moment of triumph. And that infuriating, condescending way he spoke to us. We'll see whose time is up, you smug little weasel. Anyway, I know things didn't go to plan, but we learned a great deal about preservation. That knowledge could come in handy in the days to come. Yes, this would be Dawn Trail. We're in the most latest update. I may not be able to contribute much to a direct confrontation. I mean to see this through with you all, providing whatever support I can. Though we were about to end for the night, because unfortunately I have an early morning meeting with let's see, my manager. The manager is taking his place. My director. His boss, his boss's boss, and some other VP of the company coming by into my office tomorrow. So I'm going to go get some sleep because that is going to be hell. Thank you for coming by. Let's take a look and see if there's anyone to raid here this evening. Or, well, anyone I want to raid this evening. Because there's always people out there to raid, but... Oh, let's go raid Crazy Chicken. Helps if I spell things correctly. I will post that here in just a moment, my good friend. Yep, that looks right. So, when we move over, if you'd be ever so kind as to copy and paste this message into the chat when we move over, I would be ever so grateful. I'd like to thank everyone for coming by. I know I haven't streamed for the last few days. I just haven't felt up to it. Hopefully we can get back into things here and keep good mental state and just keep going. Take care of yourselves out there. Be kind to each other. And I hope to see you again when we stream next, which will hopefully be tomorrow, where hopefully we'll finish up this chapter. Till then, though, have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your night.
I felt it.
So did I.
God damn it.
You bitch!